Hello, very good evening to all of you. Today we are going to discuss this particular question. This question was reported on 24th of August 2022 for the real IELTS examination. The question goes like this. Older people often choose to spend money on themselves, for example, on holidays, rather than saving money for their children after retirement. Is this a positive or negative development? So let's go ahead with a question once again. The post-retirement period. Older people after retirement, most of these people, they would like to spend money for themselves, holidaying or for some other activities instead of saving money for their children. Is this a positive trend or is this a negative trend? This is the question. The question is well understood, so that we have to see what the introduction is. Let's see the introduction. It's in the pink. It's often seen that instead of saving money for own children, older people are seen spending money on themselves, like going holidays. So the question is rephrased there. It depends on the financial stability of the family whether to decide this is a positive or negative development. So it's situational. If the family has financial stability, if the family has family is financially secure, then it's quite logical for him to go holidays after retirement with his post-retirement fund. But if the family suffers, if the children has poor educational background, financial difficulty for studies, then it is quite illogical. And this is what we have to explain in the coming paragraphs. So let's go with the first paragraph. We have to highlight it in yellow. Let's go ahead. Yes, in yellow. Provided that family is financial stable, one could definitely say that the trend is positive. If the family is financially stable, if the family is financially independent, definitely one can say that the trend is positive. Thus, as because these older people must have saved enough all through their productive life for their children's education and related needs. So what's the indicator? So when the family is financially stable, the family is financially secure, we can understand that these people, these older people who are going holidays, they must have saved enough during their productive life. They've sacrificed a good part of their life earning for their children, and this is quite logical to have some time for themselves to entertain and relax before they go bedridden. So it's quite a small time before they get emaciated, they get tired, they get exhausted. So they get around a decade or two after the retirement, and they would after a decade after retirement, they would be spending more money for medical care and geriatric care, their own personal needs. They won't be able to do so. So if you see the indicator that the family is financially stable, the children has enough money, they have enough money, it means that these people must have worked hard for their children during their productive time. So it's quite logical to have them some time for enjoyment. Now, if I see the other side, on the other hand, it becomes irrational if the family's financial status is not secure. What happens? To be precise, even if these people must have earned well and they have all the right to spend their money in the way in which they need, they cannot evade their responsibility to secure the future of their children. Of course, they must have earned well, and they have full freedom to spend whatever they have earned in whichever way they have to think. They wish, I have to spend the money in a casino, you can do that because it's your money. But it becomes illogical. It's you cannot evade the responsibility to bring up your children in a proper manner. So you have to be socially responsible, you have a familial responsibility. So you have to say that Your children is your responsibility. You have to take care of your children. You cannot evade from that responsibility. A part of their post-retirement savings is to be kept untouched for the well-being of their children. And this is possible only if they have earned enough and have enough savings. So if they must have saved enough for their children, their families must have been financially secure. If they have not, their families would have been suffering right now. Unless and until they can now keep some fund for their children untouched, it is unjustifiable for them to spend their money for themselves. So if you have some money, if you keep some money for their children untouched, for their well-being, for their educational needs, career needs, if you don't have that reserve, you don't have any right to spend your retirement spending, post-retirement savings on yourself. You have to look after your children, so it's unjustifiable, it says. Now, to conclude this conclusion, it's clear that it becomes positive for a person to spend his post-retirement earnings if he has enough financial reserve for his family. If it happens the other way, it would be a disaster. It would be definitely a disaster if it happens the other way. So if he has the financial reserve for the children, you have full right to enjoy yourself after with your post-retirement earnings. You don't have any problem. It's positive, it's completely positive. But if it happens the other way, then it would be a disaster for the family and for the older people. So we have explained the question, which was reported on 24th of August 2022. Thank you. That's the end of the session.